Alright, good evening everybody, and welcome to Live Deck Building with Bigger Gayer Magic. I'm your host, BGM, and tonight for Live Deck Building, we're going to be checking out Rogost Deft Gastronaut from the recently released Edge of Eternities expansion. This 2-drop little lobster citizen 2-drop says that artifacts you control are foods in addition to their other types and can be sacrificed like a food to gain us some life. We can also pay 1 mana, sacrifice a food, which can be any artifact we control, and we deal 3 damage to each opponent. So we want artifacts to sacrifice. Solemn Simulacrum is a great include in this deck because when we sacrifice them, we're going to hurt our opponents. Also draw a card off the Solemn trigger. Yeah, also at the beginning of each end step, if you gain life, you can untap Rogost, meaning that you can activate him every turn. So this deck wants to run artifacts, it wants to run life gain that triggers on other people's turns, and yeah, that's if we want to hurt people with our burn off our activation, and we want to untap him when we gain life. It's going to be a good time. And if you have a suggestion for Rogost Deft Gastronaut, put it in the comments, y'all. Alright, let's see. So, we already are going to start with an Academy Manufacturer. Can you guys hear me okay? Can you hear me? Alright. Excuse me. Academy Manufacturer is a 3-drop little 1/3 artifact creature. If you would create a clue, a food, or a treasure, we're making one of each instead. Meaning that we will be incentivized to run treasure producers, clue, and food producers in this deck. On top of just using Rogost to have our artifacts be foods, we should probably generate some more. If we generate more, well, we got the manufacturer on the battlefield, we're going to make so many things. We're going to make enough things to end the game. But I'm not sure Academy Manufacturer is where we want to be taking this, unless we're generating these tokens apart from just running artifacts to run in Rogost. Alright, if you guys have any inspiration, any cards you want to run in our Rogost deck, put them in the comments, y'all. We'll pull them up, we'll talk about them. Clock of Omens from Alex is our first suggestion. Let's pull up the Clock of Omens, not a card I'm familiar with. Okay, Clock of Omens, 4 mana, artifact, $3. Okay, activated ability, tap 2 untapped artifacts you control. Untap target artifact. Okay, I'm sure this is involved in combos in some form, some way. Anything that can reliably untap things could be a combo piece. Yeah, we can run this. We can use it to untap artifacts. We're in Boros colors, so we're probably going to have, like, I don't know, maybe a Hedron Archive or a Thran Dynamo. That might be a cool target to untap. Yeah, I vibe hard. Yeah, Timmy, it is lobster roll time. Our commander tonight is Rogost Deft Gastronaut, and this legendary 2/2 lobster citizen says that artifacts we control are foods in addition to their other types. We can also activate him to sack a food, deal 3 damage. So we want to be burning our opponents, and we want to be gaining life, because he has another triggered ability on the bottom of his box that says we untap him whenever we gain life at the beginning of each end step. And one of my favorite ways to reliably gain life every turn is Soul's Attendant. Soul's Attendant is like a $10 little mono white 1-drop, and it says whenever another creature enters the battlefield, you may gain 1 life. That doesn't say our creatures, that's everybody's creatures, including our opponents. So we can use this thing to reliably untap Rogost on everybody's turn. And with his activation only costing 1 mana, we could just do that. We could burn all our opponents a little bit. Be a good time. I'd run a few of these in Rogost to reliably untap him. Oh, you're new to MTG, Jovi. Welcome. I saw that there's a dinosaur. Yeah, if you want help building or buying, I can't help you right now, because today we're building Rawgast. We're doing a lobster roll deck, we're playing Burn, we're playing Foods. But if you check out my Discord server, Jovi, there will be plenty of homosexuals who would be happy to help you build a dinosaur deck, whatever the commander may be. Thanks for popping by. Clock of Omens goes infinite with Magda. Yeah, Magda's rad. Do you mean Magda from Kaldheim or Cowboy Magda? Okay, this is Kaldheim Magda. This one's pretty rad because it generates treasures. Whenever a dwarf you control becomes tapped, i.e. attacking with this 2-drop, you make yourself a little treasure token. You can also sacrifice 5 treasures to go search your library for a dragon and shit it directly onto the battlefield. For $2. Not so bad. Hey, Pup. Hey, Timmy, BB vibin'. Your stream still says you're building Sonic. Fuck! That was a little intense. It shouldn't. That's a bummer. That's Twitch. That makes sense. I was going to say that as well. Bummer. Major bummer. On the docs. Let's check the docs. Restream channels. It should be having like a little lobster thumbnail and everything. Twitch is giving me problems. Yeah, and everything's reading right on my end. Hopefully it's coming up right on YouTube. Yeah, Soul Warden's another viable choice. Let's pull up Soul Warden. Soul Warden is just like our friend Soul's Attendant, except more popular because they've been printed more times. But just like the Soul's Attendant, this thing triggers on your opponent's creatures as well, making it a reliable way to untap Rawgast so we can pay 1 mana, sacrifice more artifacts, burn the table with our new lobster friend. You know what any deck with red in it needs? Blasphemous Act. I can vibe. I mean, yeah, that kind of makes sense. Blasphemous Act. The hardest part about Blasphemous Act is spelling Blasphemous Act. Blasphemous Act is a 1-drop red sorcery that deals 13 damage to each creature, or it's a 9-drop sorcery that deals 13 damage to each creature. It has a built-in cost reduction for each creature on the battlefield. It's great. It's like the quintessential mono red board wipe. Nimble Right Schematic. Fox and Game. I have not seen Nimble Right Schematic. I have not ever heard of that card. Okay. Alright, we got a common from the Baldur's Gate expansion. 35 cents. This 2-drop says that when it ETs bees or is put into the graveyard, you make yourself a little construct. I don't mind that. It makes a lot of sense in Rawgast because this thing's going to enter. We can sacrifice it. And yeah, it produces other things we can sacrifice to our Rawgast activation. I don't mind this at all. And in these colors, there are plenty of cards that we can run that will help put these little disposable artifacts from our graveyard back onto the B field. Yeah, it's a good time. Great budget pick. It reminds me of this card known as Servo Schematic, which is almost exactly the same, except that Servo Schematic, instead of making constructs, it makes servo tokens. Only difference. Yeah. Excuse me. Has Thornbite Staff been... No. Thornbite Staff is not a card I'm super familiar with because I don't do combos. This thing is a combo piece, usually, in my experience. When I see this thing hit the battlefield, I know someone's assembling their win con, their combo. Equipped creature has pay 2 mana. This creature deals 1 damage to any target, and when a creature dies, untap this creature. Whenever a shaman creature enters the battlefield, you may attach it to. Basically, you are using this thing to untap something infinitely. I don't know what the other parts of the combo are, but usually that's what I see this thing doing. I know, H1, oh my god. Like, if it was June and we could do, like, the June Pride event, I would pair this lobster with Yigra in a heartbeat. They would be the craziest partner commanders ever. This lobster was made for that cat. It would be crazy good. All right, we got it. We got the Nuka-Cola vending machine. And I gotta tell you what, you guys. I wasn't super impressed with the Nuka-Cola vending machine upon Fallout's release. I was super underwhelmed by this card, but it just keeps climbing up in price. The thing that really breaks our Nuka-Cola vending machine in our lobster roll deck is that it says whenever you sacrifice a food, create a tapped treasure token. And this thing makes all our artifacts food, meaning that all our artifacts are going to be viable triggers for our Nuka-Cola vending machine, generating a ton of tapped treasure tokens. It's great. Also, Nuka-Cola vending machine doesn't say the once per turn on the treasure. So if we can untap Rogost a few times, activate him multiple times, we'll get multiple treasures off the Nuka-Cola vending machine, and then we can sack those to Rogost activations as well. It's absolutely nutty. Yeah, Sebastian Kahn. I assume Seb. Hi, Seb. Stop sharing my tech. John Wilkes Booth, I will share your tech. Hey, Equinox Paradox, how are you doing? Okay, Iker Wellspring. Iker Wellspring is like the quintessential artifactocrats wannabe sacrificing your artifacts card draw piece. It's a 2-drop, it enters, it draws you a card, and when you sacrifice it to, I don't know, this fucking lobster, you draw another card. It's a great piece of tech, it's been printed a few times, and it's like 40 cents. It's great, it's an auto include. Great suggestion. Splendid Mare. Okay, so okay. Splendor Mare. Let's pull up a Splendor Mare. It's an elk unicorn, and I gotta tell you what, based on the art alone, I want to be its best friend. This looks like a magical creature you would befriend in a Disney movie. I love this thing. What the fuck does it do? Alright, 3 mana, 3/3 lifelink. When you cycle this thing, you put a lifelink counter on target creature you control. Okay. Oh god, oh no, okay. I got it now. So you want to use this thing to give the lobster lifelink. And that way, when we hit all of our opponents off the lobster activation, we're going to be gaining 9 life if we got the full pod. Absolutely nutty. And if we're probably going to run a few cards that are going to take a bunch of little small drop creatures and artifacts out of our graveyard, shit them onto the battlefield. This thing can be shat onto the battlefield with all those white effects that say you return target permanent with CMC 3 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. That can do this. I don't mind that. And it's a lifelink counter, so it's going to stay. Good suggestion. Astrid Peth. Hey, TJ Finch, how's it going? Astrid Peth. Trevor, I didn't... Sorry. Okay. You guys confuse me, because, we'll hang out on Discord, and then people have different usernames and different faces, but they have the same profile photo. Alright, Astrid Peth is a 2-mana legendary human wizard. Human. 2/2 British person, because they're from the Doctor Who expansion. Whenever this thing enters or attacks, we make ourselves a food token. 10 out of 10. We keep making tokens with it. We keep sacking it to the lobster. Whenever you sacrifice a clue or food, this thing explores. Don't love that. I was never a big fan of the explore mechanic. Yeah, so you look at the top card of your library. If it's a land, you can put it in your hand, but if it's not, you can choose to put it in your graveyard or keep it on top. Yeah, you can put it back or on top. Well, actually, we're going to be sacrificing a lot of foods. We are going to be sacrificing a lot of foods, so maybe this Explorer trigger is actually pretty rad. Now that I take a second to actually think about it, that could be really good here. Because it's going to put +1/+1 counters on things. Yeah, I could vibe with it. It makes sense here. I shouldn't be so judgmental. Academy manufacturers in there. Super Timmy. Weapons manufacturer, says Gods and V. Weapons manufacturer. Weapons manufacturer from Edge of Eternities is a $4 2-mana mono red enchantment that says whenever a non-token artifact you control enters, you create a colorless artifact token named Munition with when this thing leaves the battlefield, it deals 2 damage to any target. Absolutely fucking nutty. Okay, so we're gonna have a deck full of artifacts. They're gonna enter, they're gonna trigger our weapons manufacturing, and we are gonna make a little munition, and then we're gonna use our lobsters to cook those munitions, hit everybody for 3 off the lobster activation, and hit something else for 2 off the munitions trigger. Very cool. I like that tech. Yeah, this card definitely wants to be in the lobster's kitchen. That makes a lot of sense. Mirror Retriever. Mirror Retriever. Mirror Retriever is another quintessential Artifactocrats card. It's a 2-drop that says when it dies, you take an artifact card from your graveyard, you put that thing right into your hand. It's great. It's another artifact that we can sacrifice, and when it dies, we get to take back a better artifact and put it from the graveyard into our hand. It's a great card. It's $2.29 for an uncommon. It's so good. It's just so good. It's a quintessential card in this strategy. Sammy Wildcat. Sammy Wildcat. Definitely not a card I'm familiar with. Aether Drift? Not Aether Drift. Okay. Excuse me, guys. Sorry. Alright, we got a Human Artificer Rogue and 6-drop Double Strike Vigilant 4/4. Spells you cast have affinity for artifacts, meaning they cost 1 less to cast for each artifact you control. That's intense. We're going to have a deck full of artifacts. We really don't want them hanging out on the battlefield that much because we want to sack them to our lobster. But this thing's a great ramp piece. I'm glad this thing's only $4 because this was one of the cards that they got spoiled. That a lot of content creators were talking about this thing and how good and how viable it is. And it is. It is really good. I'm glad it's not super pricey. $4 feels like a good price for this thing. And I feel like it's going to eventually start hitting bulk boxes in like the next year. Because it's 6 mana in Boros colors. Sun Titan says Iron Rage 1220. Sun Titan is a rad little card. Titan triggers, if you are not familiar, are triggered abilities that triggers whenever anything not anything, just creatures. They trigger when they enter or attack. Titan triggers are great because they keep doing things the longer they stay on the battlefield. They just keep doing things. Sun Titan's great in this deck because it returns low CMC permanents, including lands if you want to sack like an Evolving Wilds or a Myriad Landscape. Sun Titan can get back lands too. It's so good. It's so good. This is a Final Fantasy reprint. Yeah, I love it. It's such a good card. 10 out of 10. Would play. Would recommend. Add the Gaffer. Okay, I really hope its name is the Gaffer because I'm not sure. Oh, the Gaffer. Its name is the Gaffer. Okay, so why is the Gaffer $9? Okay. I have a few of these. I didn't know they were $9. Well, this is a special art. Never mind. Okay, so the Gaffer. We got a legendary 3-drop Halfling Peasant 2/3. At the beginning of your end step, if you gain 3 or more life this turn, you draw a card. So the way that this thing is powerful is the way it's worded. So if we check this out over here, you're going to see the word each end step, meaning that we gain life on our opponent's turn. If we hit that 3 life threshold, we get to draw a card, which can be kind of difficult in Boros colors. This feels like a good payoff. Also, Rogost already incentivizes us to gain life during our opponent's turns, because when we do that, we will untap Rogost at the end step. Yeah, I vibe with this. I wonder how much the not fancy art versions of the Gaffer are, because I consider it like bulk. I don't want to be an asshole, but like I don't know. It's not for me. Apothecary white. Apothecary white is a spirit. Nope, that's Apothecary Dice. Apothecary white. Oh, this is one of the clue cards. Honestly, her outfit's so cunty though. Like, it's so clean. It's such a good little well-designed character. I like her outfit. I would wear her outfit. It's a 4-drop, 3/4 Vigilant Human Cleric. Whenever you attack, you create a food token for each player being attacked. And you can activate it for a single white mana, tap X untapped foods you control, which is all our artifacts in our lobster deck, and we create X 1/1 white human creature tokens. It's great. It's $4. We've been seeing the clue creatures slowly climb in value. They were printed in a special promotional product alongside the Murlers of Karlov Manor set, and a lot of them are really good, but none of them are like coconuts. They're not like, none of them really feel commander viable to me as commanders in their own right, but they are very powerful in the 99. And I think there's one for each color. You built the deck? That's cool. Have you played it yet? Grinding Station would be rad with Nuka-Cola. Grinding Station. Grinding Station's part of a combo piece. I know that. Okay, tap it, sack an artifact. Target player mills 3 cards. Whenever an artifact enters the battlefield, you may untap this thing. So, Nuka-Cola making us a treasure token whenever we sack a food, and this lobster turning all our artifacts into foods will turn this into a combo. Because when that treasure token enters off the Nuka-Cola trigger, this thing will untap, and we can do it again, sacrificing the treasure token we just made. I'm pretty sure it's infinite, but I don't know for sure. Not really my... I think you should add Mycosynth Wellspring. Thank you, Grandpa. His username says Grandpa at the end. I'm not being an asshole. Thank you, Grandpa. Let's pull up Mycosynth Wellspring. Mycosynth Wellspring. Mycosynth Wellspring. Is that the thing that makes everybody artifacts? No, it's not. Okay, Mycosynth Wellspring. Whenever it enters the battlefield or put into the graveyard from the battlefield, search the library for a basic clan card. Put it in your hand. Ooh, 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 that hurt. That hurt me in my soul. Okay, so I feel like this card... This is a good card. It enters, it's an artifact we can sacrifice. It helps search for basics. It is in the hand, but we want to be sacrificing artifacts anyway when we want to be doing it by activating our lobster. So, I don't know. It's hard, right? Because like the way that Commander has power crept so hard, and like if it's not to the battlefield, like maybe I don't know. It's hard. It's hard. All right, come on, green screen. I believe in you. Okay. Sure. Hopefully. I hope. Maybe. Probably. That's not good. Okay, that's a little bit better. All right. Our next suggestion is Crime Novelist is wonderful. Crime Novelist is so rad. I really hope he's under $5. Our boy's less than $1. I love Crime Novelist. I bought 3 of these when Murders at Karlov Manor came out. Whenever you sacrifice an artifact, put a +1/+1 counter on our special little guy. Make a red mana. 10 out of 10 would recommend. It is so crazy good in an artifactocrat strategy. It's just so insanely good. It doesn't even matter that like this thing's getting bigger and bigger because it's making you a red mana. And you know what? Rogost costs 1 mana to activate, and he will make us that 1 mana. Such a good little guy. Such a good little guy. Love seeing him. Keep writing your fan fiction. You're gonna make it one day. Skrelv's Hive. Ooh, mites are artifacts. Okay. Skrelv's Hive is a $2.50 2 mana mono white enchantment from All Will Be One. Gives us an upkeep trigger. If you lose 1 life, you make a 1/1 Phyrexian Mite artifact creature token with Toxic 1 that can't block. As long as their opponent has 3 or more cards and counters on them, creatures you control with Toxic got lifelink. Okay, so this thing will make us a token every turn, every one of our turns, that we can sacrifice to the for the Rogost activation because mites are artifacts. This thing's very fun. I enjoy it. It's kind of like a white Bitter Blossom, except the things can't block. And I gotta tell you what, mites not being able to block matters. I've killed quite a few corruption players because their mites couldn't block. It's pretty good. Highly recommend. Unwinding Clock. Is that a blue card? If it's a blue card, it's not going to come up. Oh, nope, it's not. It's colorless. I was thinking of Midnight Clock. Please excuse me. So Unwinding Clock is another quintessential artifact strategy card. It's 4 mana. It's $15. It keeps getting reprinted, and it stays around $15 because it says you untap all artifacts you control during each player's untap step. It's great. It enables so many strategies. It often enables interaction because you're opening up mana rocks so that you can produce mana during other people's turns. It's a really good card, especially in artifact strategies. In the deck it goes. Thank you for the suggestion. All right. This is, I'm sorry, Angel. I don't know why YouTube is, oh no, YouTube's messed up too. Damn it. I need to stop using Restream. Restream is terrible. Candy Trail. Candy Trail. Candy Trail, 1 mana artifact. It itself is already a food and a clue. And when it enters the battlefield, scry 2, pay 2, sacrifice Candy Trail. You gain 3 life and draw 1 card. I actually like this a lot. It's a budget include. It's got fun colors and fun art on it. It wants to be sacrificed. It enters the battlefield and it does something. Yeah, this is perfect. This is a perfectly playable common. Perfectly playable common. Foundry Inspector. Foundry Inspector. Foundry Inspector is a 3-drop artifact creature that says that artifact spells we cast cost 1 less to cast. It's another card we see often in artifact strategies. It's great. It's a big, wide ramp. And if you're casting multiple artifact spells, it will generate you multiple mana per turn. It's a good time. Senpai noted. Yeah, hey, nice to see you, Angel. Lambas. Yeah, Lambas makes sense. Lambus Bread from Lord of the Rings. It's a 2-drop. It's a food. It enters the battlefield, and you scry 1 and draw a card. You can pay 2, sack it, you gain 3 life, and when it's put into a graveyard from the battlefield, its owner shuffles it into their library. Okay, so it does a lot, right? So with ETBs, we scry 1, draw a card. That's pretty good by itself. It does the food thing, gain us 3 life, and when it put into the graveyard, the battlefield, its owner shuffles it into the library. Okay, so it's not going to live in the graveyard, but it's something that we can keep getting back. And every time it hits the battlefield, it's going to let us scry and draw a card, and we can keep sacking it to Rogost. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Great include. Treasure Nabber would be great. Treasure Nabber would be great. Let's talk about Treasure Nabber. Treasure Nabber is a 3-drop mono red 3/2 goblin rogue. Whenever an opponent taps an artifact for mana, you gain control of that artifact until the end of your next turn. So if you use a rock, as you get that mana, you just slide it across the table over to us. It is yikesy. It is so good, especially in a 4-player format like Commander. This thing's going to be grabbing all your friends' rocks, sliding them across the table for you to use. But if you want to be a real bastard, you don't have to use... Wait, yes you do. Yes you do. They are going back no matter what. But yeah, it's great. If you can find a way to sacrifice those artifacts while we have control of them, I don't know. Maybe with our lobster friend... It's pretty good. Pretty good. Great card. Also, because it's seen a few reprints, it's only $1.50. Oh, hey Rod, how's it going? Weapons, greetings from Brazil. Hey William, how's it going? All will be one. All will be one is the name of an MTG set. All will be one keeps going up in price. This card is fucking crazy. It's a $15 5-drop mono red enchantment that says if we would put counters onto something, we deal that much damage to target opponent, creature an opponent controls, or planeswalker they control. It's absolutely nutty. And if you have a way to put infinite counters on something, this thing will just deal infinite damage. It's nuts. Herbs and stewed rabbit. Herbs and stewed rabbit. Okay, we got a Lord of the Rings 50-cent 3-mana saga from the Food and Fellowship precon. Put a +1/+1 counter up to one target creature, make a food. Second step, draw a card, create a food. Third step, create a 1/1 halfling creature token for each food you control. That's pretty good. So it's going to make us 2 tokens that we can sacrifice, and it'll make us a few little blockers at the end. I don't mind. Good card. Oh, we already did weapons manufacturing. That one would be crazy. Logan says Cloudstone Curio. Cloudstone Curio is just another way to go infinite. This is a 3-drop artifact. This version is $14. This thing says whenever a non-artifact permanent enters the battlefield under your control, you may return another permanent you control to your hand that shares a permanent type with it. I'm not positive what we're supposed to do with it in our Rogos deck, but this thing is an infinite combo piece, and a lot of decks want this. I'm not sure what we'd be doing with it, though. Yeah, we pulled up the Gaffer a little while ago. The Gaffer's a 3-drop halfling. It's legendary. I can't believe the Gaffer is $9. I have a few copies of this, and I'm like, sure, like, I don't know. It makes sense in Rogos because Rogos already wants us to gain life on everybody's turn. I don't know. I'm not a big fan. I just don't think it does enough. And if you don't gain that life on multiple turns, or if you're just gaining it on your turn, it's not that good, in my opinion. Ooh, Sir Ginger. Sir Ginger's awesome. Sir Ginger is a legendary food knight. It has trample, hexproof as long as the opponent controls a planeswalker, and whenever another artifact you control is put to a graveyard from the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on Sir Ginger and you scry 1. Pay 2, sack it, you gain life equal to its power like a food. This thing's great. It's going to get big in our Rogos deck because we are going to be sacrificing other artifacts which are food because of our lobster using our lobster's activated ability, meaning that Sir Ginger is going to get a little bit bigger. I just love Sir Ginger so much. This art is probably one of my favorite in MTG, It's so good. It's so good. And she's so angry. And if you guys saw that animation they made for in promotion of Wild Till Eldraine, it makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. Filigree Familiar. Yeah, Filigree Familiar. Another card that does something when it enters, and I think something when it leaves, right? Filigree Familiar. Filigree Familiar is a very cute card. It's a little robot fox. 3-drop artifact creature fox. 2/2. Enters the B field, gains us 3 life. When it dies, we draw a card. So I don't know if I'd run it in Commander because there's Mirror Retriever, there's Servo Schematic, there's the Baldur's Gate Servo Schematic, there's a few other things. But like this thing really kind of captures what we want our artifacts to do. Ideally, if we can have our artifact do something when it enters and when it dies, it'd be perfect for our lobster. And this thing does embody that philosophy. Arcbound Ravager. Arcbound Ravager is a 2-mana little creature beast. Second artifact, put a +1/+1 counter on Arcbound Ravager. It's got modular 1. When it ETBs with a +1/+1 counter on it, when it dies, you may put its +1/+1 counters on a different artifact creature. Okay, cool. So this is a way for us to generate some +1/+1 counters. And when we kill it with our lobster, we can put its +1/+1 counters on a different artifact creature. I don't mind that so much. That makes sense. Makes sense. It's $10. Hopefully just for that art. I'm sorry, Mia. I don't have time to look at the list right now. But if you put it in the Discord server, people will check it out. I was so excited for that first time I saw it. The Battle of Bywater. Battle of Bywater. Battle of Bywater. Oh, fun little board wipe. Let's talk about it. Okay. Destroy all creatures with power 3 or greater. Then create a food token for each creature you control. Okay, so it's going to make us a bunch of artifacts. It's going to not kill our lobster because our lobster is just a little too... Yeah, I don't mind this. Makes a lot of sense. Wipe the big threats off the board, keep our lobster on the battlefield. Most of our artifact creatures are tokens, or they're small and they'll survive this. Good suggestion. Yeah, Rosy Cotton is rad. Rosy Cotton's very cool, but it kind of points you towards tokens. It points you towards tokens, is what it does. Rosy Cotton of Southlane is a 3-mana legendary halfling peasant. When it enters the battlefield, you make yourself a food, and whenever you create a token, you put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control that's not Rosie. Yeah, she's cool. I love Rosie best in a Neem Pakal or Annabelle from Duskmourn. Rosie goes hard in those decks. I imagine she would go hard in a Rogost as well, but we would need to build towards tokens, in my opinion. Stride Hanger Automaton. Hey, Matt Money, let's pull up your Stride Hanger Automaton. Stride Hanger. Back to the Decklist. Okay. Stride Hanger Automaton is not coming up. STRDEHANGAR. Oh, here it is. My bad. I spelled it wrong the first time. Okay, this thing's rad, actually. Stride Hanger Automaton is a 3-mana 1/4 construct. Thopters you control get +1/+1, and that's going to be significant because if one or more artifact tokens would be created under your control, those plus an additional Thopter are created instead. This thing's awesome. It goes hard. Again, another card that's pointing us towards a token strategy. But this thing's great. I love this thing. It came out in one of the Aether Drift precons, and it's a great card. Holy Echo. Holy Echo is our next suggestion. Holy Echo's not coming up. Holy Echo. Holy Echo's not coming up. Uh-oh. The Battle of Marvin Murderous Mimic. Marvin Murderous Mimic. Marvin Murderous Mimic is our next suggestion, and this $4 little 2-mana 2/2 toy has all activated abilities of creatures you control that don't have the same name as Marvin. So Marvin is a favorite include in the 99 of decks that have a creature with an activated ability. Like our Lobster. Our Lobster's got that 1-mana activated ability where we sack an artifact and hurt our opponents a little bit. If we run Marvin, Marvin's another way for us to do that. It's a great card. It, however, won't have the triggered ability that untaps the Lobster, because that's a triggered ability. Yeah, Timolon, we've pulled up weapons manufacturing a few times already. It's a great card. It's probably the best thing we could run because it makes the artifacts we want to sacrifice, and when we sacrifice those artifacts, it's just even more damage. Weapons manufacturing is a great card for this Lobster. Hell to pay. Hell to pay. Crime novel. Yeah, crime novelist. We already talked about Mr. Squarehead. That's another great one. Okay, Hell to Pay is an X red. Hell to Pay deals X damage to target creature. Create a number of trapped treasure tokens equal to the excess damage dealt this way. Big Thunder Junction red X spell. I don't know if we're going to have a ton of mana in a Rogos deck. I don't imagine we will, unless we got some really big rocks that tap for big mana. But yeah, this thing's rad. I would probably run it in a deck that has more mana, though. In my personal opinion, I would run it in a deck that has more mana. Yeah, let's pull up Nuka-Cola Vending Machine again. Nuka-Cola Vending Machine, we've been getting recommended a lot. We'll talk about it one more time. So the main spicy tech that we are talking about when we pull up Nuka-Cola Vending Machine in relation to our Lobster is that whenever you sack a food, we create a tapped treasure token. And because our Lobster friend turns all our artifacts into food and sacrifice them with its activation, it's going to generate us a ton of tapped treasure tokens when this thing's on the battlefield. And if we can find a way to untap our Lobster, we can get multiple tapped treasure tokens in the same turn with the Nuka-Cola Vending Machine. It's a great card. Great in a Lobster deck. Ornithopter. Okay, Ornithopter is a 0-drop, 0/2, 1... 0 mana, 0/2 flying artifact creature. This thing's often seen in artifact storm decks because it doesn't cost anything. And decks like that typically want to get cast triggers, ETB triggers, or sacrifice the stuff they're pulling out. And this thing's free, so hell yeah. It's also a free flying blocker. Soulfim Mayhem Dominus. Soulfim Mayhem Dominus. Oh my god, it's $30. I didn't think it would be that much. Okay. Soulfim Mayhem Dominus is a 4-mana Phyrexian Horror from Obi-Wan. It's one of the big chase cards from that set. This whole cycle of Dominuses were chase cards from that set. This one's almost $30 now. Says, if a source you control will deal non-combat damage, it deals double that damage. Gross. Disgusting. Vile. Especially in a Lobster deck. Instead of dealing 3 damage off our activation, this will deal 6. Absolutely nutty. absolutely nutty. Also, you can protect it with its activated ability by discarding 2 cards. You put an indestructible counter on it. In response to a board wipe, of course. Absolutely nuts. Worm coil engine. Yeah, worm coil engine makes sense. Worm coil engine. This card fucked me up in my early days of Commander about 10 years ago. This thing would mess me up so hard. It's a 6/6 lifelink death touch creature. When it dies, it makes a 3/3 lifelinker and a 3/3 death toucher. So you're never not just dealing with the one thing. It's always becoming multiple problems. And in an artifact deck that can recur artifacts and wants to sacrifice them for, I don't know, worm death triggers, it's so good. So good in the lobster deck. Let's make them eat that worm. Yeah, City on Fire is great. City on Fire came out in March of the Machine. It's like 7 mana. It's like 8 mana. It's a mono red enchantment with Convoke, so it lets us tap our creatures to help pump it out faster. But this thing just says if a source we control will deal damage, deals double that damage. It says we have to do half the work we would normally do to close out a game. This thing is a must-answer threat. It's absolutely fucking nuts. How much is it? $9. That's not so bad. Ugin's Nexus. Uggin's Nexus. Uggin's Nexus is a 5 mana legendary $3 artifact, and the art goes hard. Okay, I like that. I like that a lot. I like how it's like a big rib cage of Ugin the Spirit Dragon. That's actually pretty rad to me. Okay, if a player would begin an extra turn, skip that turn. Love it already. Love it already. If Uggin's Nexus would be put into the graveyard from the battlefield, I don't know, by maybe sacrificing it to a lobster, you exile it and take an extra turn? What the fuck? Oh god. Oh no. Okay. I personally don't think it's cool to take extra turns in casual Commander where I play Commander. But if you use CDH, people, you guys do what you gotta do. This thing's rad. My favorite thing about it is by far the art, though. I don't think I've ever seen this card before today. This is rad as hell. That's Sarkhan Vol right there, the dragon guy, the dragon-obsessed guy from Tarkir. That's a very cool art. I like that. I like that a lot. I would love to see a playmat that has, like, the extended art. Hellkite Tyrant. Hellkite Tyrant is our next suggestion. Let's pull up Hellkite Tyrant. Okay. The Hellkite Tyrant had a glow up in their Final Fantasy printing. 6 mana, 6/5, flying trampler. Deals combat damage to a player. Gain control of all artifacts they control. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 20 or more artifacts, you win the game! It's oh god. This card used to be like 20 bucks. It used to be nutty expensive, but because of the Final Fantasy expansion, this thing's only $3 now. And I like that. Should I get me one? I don't know. But it's really good. It's a relevant body as well. Flying Trampoline 6/5. All it's got to do is 1 damage, and you gain control of all artifacts that player controls. And it's not until end of turn. It's not until end of turn with the artifacts. You just have them. Even if the dragon dies, they're yours. They're your artifacts. Absolutely fucking nutty. And if we do this in a Rogos deck, we can sacrifice our opponent's artifacts. Oh no. Nuts. For $3. Pretty great suggestion. Thank you, Dream Demon. Goblin Engineer. Goblin Engineer. Goblin Engineer is a 2-mana Goblin Artificer. When it enters the battlefield, search your library for an artifact card, put that shit directly into the graveyard, and shuffle. Pay 1 mana, sack an artifact, return target artifact card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Okay, great. This thing's awesome. Because we saw Servo schematic, we saw the Construct schematic, we saw Ichor Wellspring, Retriever Mirror. We are running a ton of artifacts that want to go to the graveyard anyway. And if we use Goblin Engineer to get those back, and if those artifacts hitting the battlefield have ETB triggers like Ichor Wellspring or Servo schematic, we're going to keep getting value as we loop them through turns. I like it quite a lot. There's also, I think, Goblin Welder does something similar. Yeah, hey Golden Archer. I don't think we did we did Mycosynth something. I don't think it was Lattice. Mycosynth Lattice? Oh, this thing. So this thing says that all permanents are artifacts in addition to their other types. All cards that are on the battlefield and permanents are on, all cards that are on the battlefield, spells, comma, and permanents are colorless. Players can spend mana as though it were mana of any color. So, guys, I gotta tell you, if I see this thing hit the battlefield, I immediately start panicking, because this thing can be used to blow up all the lands in a bunch of different ways. It can be used to turn everything into artifacts, and then you just run something that says you gain control of all artifacts, and you've gained control of everybody's battlefield, sometimes even their lands. It's nutty. It's absolutely upsetting. It's a powerful card, and it's definitely a combo piece. Mycosynth Golem, $35. Why is he hot? He's 11 mana. He's got affinity for artifacts, meaning they cost 1 less to cast for each artifact you control, and artifact creature spells you play have affinity for artifacts, making them cheaper. Yeah, this is a rad art, very cool. Wish it was less sexy. Thank you very much for the follow, Faithful Ranger. I'm BGM. Or Bigger, Gayer Magic. I use green screen effects to make silly little Magic the Gathering edits all over the internet, but primarily on TikTok. And on live deck building, we build commander decks, and you can check out the Moxfield profile if you want to see what people would be running in Rogost, Def Gastronaut. The entire deck that we've been building. If you see your card over here, it'll be put into a Moxfield deck list. You can see everybody's suggestions on my Moxfield page. Thanks for hanging out with me. Inventor's Fair was originally printed in the Kaladesh set, the plane that was later renamed to Avishkar. Inventor's Fair is a legendary land that says at the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 3 or more artifacts, you gain yourself 1 life, and you can pay for, sacrifice it, search your library for an artifact card, put it in your hand. Activate only if you've got 3 or more artifacts, or tap it for a colorless. It's cool, it's rad. I'm glad we're seeing some more reprints. Yeah. Oh, Golden Archer. Shame on you, Golden Archer, suggesting the Worldfire. Let's pull up Darksteel Foundry, suggested by Logan. So I'm skipping the Worldfire suggestion because I don't have my Shame Saber to properly shame the Golden Archer. Darksteel Foundry is our next suggestion. Oh god, why is it not coming up? Darksteel Foundry. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Foundry. Darksteel Foundry. Darksteel Foundry. Darksteel Foundry? I can't find Darksteel Foundry. I'm sorry, Logan. Smothering Tithe. Oh god, Smothering Tithe. Let's pull up Smothering Tithe. Smothering Tithe. Smothering Tithe? No, Smothering Tithe. Smothering Tithe is a game changer. It's a mono white game changer. It's $43. In this 4-drop mono white enchantment says whenever an opponent draws a card, they can pay 2 mana, but when they don't, you make a treasure token. It's nuts. It's one of the best pieces of ramp in Commander, period, full stop, because of the multiplayer nature of Commander. This thing will just make enough tokens for people to outspeed everybody else in the game, which is what makes it a game changer. It's great. And also, it's not like you have to pay 1 mana with Heuristic Study. This thing's on card draw, so if you play a spell that draws you 3 cards for 1 mana, like a Brainstorm, they're gonna make 3 treasures off it. And these treasures are not tapped. It's absolutely nuts. Thank you for the tiny dono. I appreciate it. And thank you guys for the 1,600 likes on TikTok. Thank you. Alright, hell yeah, finally, I wanted to talk about Solemn Simulacrum. Solemn Simulacrum is a wonderful card in this deck because it enters, it grabs us a basic, puts it onto the B field tapped, and when it dies, it draws us a card, and we can cook it up with the Lobster, activating it, sacrifice the robot, get the draw off the death trigger for the robot, hurt our opponents with the Lobster activation. Great card for this deck, auto include. It's also got a ton of prints, and this one's only 50 cents, as are most of the prints. Great suggestion. Thank you, Tim, for the follow. I appreciate it. Hey! Ilor is your name. Thanks for popping by from Ilor. I appreciate you saying hi. The Sarima. The Sarima. The Sarima is the name of a Star Trek ship. The Sarima is the name of the Star Trek ship from Below Decks, the Rick and Morty-like Star Trek animation. But anyway, here's our Sarima. Our Sarima is a $150 legendary artifact spacecraft, Station 7. When it enters, search your library for a legendary creature card, reveal it, put it into your hand, shuffle. Then we use our creatures to station our rocket ship, turning it into a 5/5 flyer that says other tapped legendary creatures you control have indestructible. It's cool, it's alright. It's another legendary white card that helps other legendary white cards. We saw a few of those in Lord of the Rings. There was one in Amonkhet named Jeru. It's a weird theme in white, but you know what? Here's another piece. I'm sure someone has a mono white legend deck somewhere. Oh, Gandalf. Gandalf also did that from Lord of the Rings, the mono white Gandalf. Ooh, I love me a Reckless Fire Weaver. Also, the art of Reckless Fire Weaver goes really hard. It was also originally printed in Kaladesh, the plane that was later named Avishkar. Whenever an artifact you control enters, deals 1 damage to each opponent. That each in there is very relevant. This is great. It goes great in treasure decks where you're dropping a bunch of treasure tokens onto the field, or clue decks, or food decks. Anything that's making a bunch of little artifact tokens will benefit from a Reckless Fire Weaver. Yeah, it's great. Also, the art goes so hard, in my opinion. Great card. Felidar Umbra. Felidar Umbra. Is this a lifelink granting card? I hope so. Please give lifelink. Yeah! Okay, Felidar Umbra. 2 mana, mono white enchantment. Enchanted creature has lifelink. You can also move this Umbra, and it gives totem armor. Totem armor bears explanation. If enchanted creature would be destroyed, instead remove damage from it and destroy the aura instead. It's so good. It's going to give the enchanted creature lifelink. And if we can put this on our Lobster, we're going to be gaining 9 life whenever we hit a full board with an activation. It's so good, so good. And we can move the aura at instant speed with its activated ability. This is a $4 uncommon, and it feels like a $4 uncommon. That's just really, really good, in my opinion. Really good. Mere Turbine. Parzival! Hey, Parzival! Hope you've been doing well. Mere Turbine. Mere Turbine is a 5-mana artifact. The art looks very cool. 2 activated abilities. Tap it, make a 1/1 mirror. Second, tap 5, untap mirror you control. Search your library for a mirror creature card. Put it onto the battlefield, shuffle. I imagine that this thing grabs something called Mere Battle Sphere, or maybe in this deck we're grabbing Mere Retriever, because Mere Retriever can pull stuff out of our graveyard by sacrificing it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, geez. Gotta move that chat. I'm sorry, TikTok's giving me the little puzzle piece, saying you've been inactive, we're gonna kick you off. Oh, please don't kick me off, TikTok. Come on, TikTok, we only got like another few minutes. All right. Yeah, so the other thing that I think the Mere Foundry will do, or excuse me, the Mere Turbine will grab is a Mere Retriever, and we got suggested the Mere Retriever earlier. The Mere Retriever is like a quintessential Artifactocratzo card, because it does stuff when it dies. It wants to hit the battlefield, and it wants to die, and it wants to be eaten by this lobster. Because when it's eaten by the lobster, it deals a little bit of damage. We get its death trigger to take something out of the graveyard, put it back in our hands. Great card. All right, we are almost by the... Oh my god, Alan. Hell yeah, we'll talk about that card. So I love life gain strategies. I don't typically play alternate win cons, like the ones that say if you begin your turn with 40 or more life, you win the game. Like Felidar Sovereign, I don't find that fun in life gain strategies. But what I do find fun is making something crazy big. And the Archangel of Thune is a 60 American dollar 5-mana mono-white angel that says flying lifelink. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. This thing's nuts. The art is really cool. I don't know if it's just because I've never had access to this card that I just find it so awesome. It's so good. It's so awesome. If it was legendary, it'd be like one of the best mono-white commanders ever. Great card. Prized Statue is our next suggestion. Prized Statue. Prized Statue. Okay, this art's pretty cool. Prized Statue enters the battlefield or is put into the graveyard. Create a treasure token. 10 out of 10. Okay, so we were talking about Artifactocrat strategies. They want to enter the battlefield, and we want to feed them to our lobster. And if they can do something when they enter, and when we feed them to the lobster, great include. This one ramps us with the treasure token. 10 out of 10, would recommend, especially if it's only 60 cents, y'all. Great include. 10 out of 10. All right, guys, I think we're gonna do a few more, maybe 3 more. Fareed, Enterprising Scavenger. Fareed, I've never seen this card before in my life. Okay, Fareed, Enterprising Scavenger, Legendary Human Soldier, 3/3. Whenever a non-token artifact you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, create a colorless artifact token named Scrap. Pay 2, sack an artifact, put a +1/+1 counter, give it menace, go to creature, discard a card, draw a card. Okay, so this looks like a mono-red artifact strategy to me. It doesn't feel particularly powerful, right? Because Fareed, right? Let's look at Fareed again. Artifacts put into the graveyard, we make a Scrap. Scrap doesn't do anything. It's not like a treasure, food, junk, token, anything. It's just Scrap. It wants to be sacrificed to Fareed's activation or a lobster activation. Goading a creature, discard a card, draw a card, put a +1/+1 counter, give it menace. I don't know. The art is very cool, but it feels a little... I don't know. Like, where's... Like, what's... there must be something I'm missing. Oh, well. Alright, we did Rosie Cotton. We did Hanger Back Walker. Ooh, okay. We're gonna do... Let's see if I can get Dark Steel Furnace to come up again. Oh, it was Dark Steel Found. Was it Dark Steel Furnace? Dark Steel F? Dark Steel Forge? Did you mean Dark Steel Forge? It's the only one coming up for Dark Steel F. I'm gonna assume Dark Steel Forge. Artifacts you control have indestructible. That's all. That's pretty good. It's a way to protect our board. It's often seen played with Mycosynth Lattice and something that says destroy all artifacts so that you blow up all your opponent's lands. This thing also gives me the rumblies in my tumblies, because this thing has definitely been used to do some heinous stuff. Like combining it with Mycosynth Lattice and then blowing up all the lands is something I kind of expect when this thing hits the battlefield. I've been traumatized by Mycosynth Lattice in too many ways, guys. Like, alright, our last card of the night, we did Apothecary White, we did Weapons Manufacturing, we did Hangerback and Rosy Cotton. Alright, Alan, you have the last suggestion of the night with Spirit Link. Spirit Link, okay! Who is she, though? That's cool as fuck. I think that's supposed to be like... No, it's a spirit. That's so cool. Okay. Wait, that's Blinking Spirit. We want Spirit Link. Never mind. Spirit Link is the 1 mana 1 mana enchantment aura. Whenever enchanted creature deals damage, you gain that much life. Yeah, great include. Great include. Okay, so if we can find a way to give our creature lifelink, by the way, this isn't lifelink. We can add lifelink on top of that and gain even more life. But Ragast wants us to gain life every turn, and him getting lifelink is a great way for him to untap himself. Great card. Yeah, and also it's not lifelink, so we could stack lifelink on top of it. Great suggestion. Thank you, Alan. Alright, y'all. Thank you very much for hanging out with me. I'm BGM, or Bigger Gayer Magic. And if you want to see any of the cards we talked about for our Rogast Def Gastronaut deck, you can check out the Moxfield page in the description or the link tree. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, and I hope you all draw the appropriate amount of lands during your next game. Take care.